This episode is brought to you by Hostfully. Using Hostfully, you can create a free digital guidebook for your listing so that you can save time creating a professional experience for every guest that comes and visits your spot. Learn more at hostfully.com.
Welcome to Get Paid for Your Pad, the definitive show on Airbnb hosting, featuring the best advice on how to maximize profits from your Airbnb listing, as well as real-life experiences from Airbnb hosts all over the world. Welcome. We are your hosts, Josefa Kapadia and Jasper Rivers.
Get paid for your pad. 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 Get paid for your pad.
Welcome to episode number 318 of Get Paid for Your Pad. Well, this is an unusual date for me to publish podcasts, but given the current circumstances with the coronavirus and all the panic, I figured I'd do an extra episode every Monday with an update on what's going on, and also invite somebody who's affected and see what they are doing to kind of weather the storm. So I'm recording this on Monday, March 16th, and it's going to be published the same day. So I'm not going to. I usually use an editor to to edit everything, but last week I did a podcast on the virus, and then by the time it got published, there was already outdated information because things just move so fast right now. So that's a little update for you. Today I have Rebecca Kramer on the show, and she was on the podcast before. She's the founder of Madman Vacation Rentals. She had a lot of great advice to share when she was on the podcast last time, and I'm going to talk to her about see what she's doing to keep her business alive. So Rebecca, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jasper. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm really excited that you're going to be doing an extra podcast, and I can't wait to hear from other hosts out there what they're doing. I don't know about you guys, but I've been scouring the podcast for anyone talking about vacation rentals and their coronavirus. I'm looking up YouTube videos, I'm looking up articles, and there's not that much out there. And so this is going to be so helpful for me, and I know for everyone out there, this is definitely a tough situation we're all in, and we don't really want to hear about how to buy more vacation rentals in a year and all these other things that really are not applying to us right now. So this is going to be really awesome.
Yeah, exactly. What's on everybody's minds right now is how do we survive the storm? Including myself. One of the units I have in the Philippines is in a resort that's now shut down. So, who knows how long that's going to be for. And I was just on a webinar with Smart B&B, and I was joined by Price Labs and Transparent. And we discussed kind of the outlook. Just to give a quick update, a lot has changed over the weekend. In the US, there's a national emergency now. A lot of cities are on lockdown as far as bars, restaurants, etc. There's countries like Italy, Spain, where people are not allowed to go out unless there's an emergency. Some countries are shutting their borders, like Germany. Colombia has shut their borders for foreigners. So there's so much going on. The Federal Reserve came in with a emergency packet. They cut interest rates. They're doing quantitative easing again. That's that policy they used in the financial crisis to buy up bonds and stuff to help stimulate the economy. A lot came out over the weekend. But Rebecca, what I really want to talk about is what can we do as Airbnb hosts to survive, right?
Yeah, well, I think we need to have hope. And I think that if you're listening to this podcast right now, I think there's definitely a lot of room for a lot of hope for your business and what you're doing, because one thing I I actually kind of hope is that this kind of weeds out some of the wheat from the chaff right now, because there is a lot of bad hosts out there, and there are a lot of people that are just like the listed and forget it hosts. And if you're listening to this podcast, you are not one of those people. So, I think that we are going to rise above this, and we're going to get through this. And will we lose money in the short term? Definitely. We're all going to lose a little bit maybe not every single person, but most people I think is going to be affected by this. But if we look in the long run, I really think we might be able to look back. And my hope is that we'll be able to see how this actually really did help our business in some way. I think this is a time where we need to kind of shift our mind and our eyes from what's going to be the bottom line this month, and what's going to be the bottom line in April for paying our, all the money and income that we'll make and our cash flow, and more to how can we make, use this as an opportunity to rise above our competition, and how can we ride this wave, but not only get through it, but also, rise to the top by the end of it. And I think there's so much opportunity right now for that. There's someone that I heard recently that just said a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. And, if you kind of have that mindset, I think in this I think that, you're going to be okay, and, we're going to be okay. So I think that for sure, if you're not thinking of this as a business yet, you got to start thinking of it as a business. And with that in mind, one thing that I've been doing, is looking to the other savvy and successful and businesses that have gotten through crises like these before in the past, and what are they doing now? So before I even get into all that, one thing I really wanted to say is that what I'm going to share about what I'm doing with our business right now, one is that it's changing every day. Every day I'm reassessing what's going on in our area, in our market, in our country, and I'm changing what I'm doing. So what I do today might not be what I do tomorrow, and what you're going to do for your business is something that you have to consider and weigh with all the different opinions out there. And mine is just one of them. I don't look down on any other hosts that decide to do the complete opposite of what I'm doing, because we're all in this together and we're all trying to survive this. So I just wanted to say that just to everyone, because I know there's a lot of opinions out there, and there's a lot of people doing all sorts of things, and I'm just another person out there trying to ride this wave as well. So basically, when I tried to shift my mind from oh my gosh, I'm going to lose this money this month, oh my gosh, what is it going to, am I going to lose all this money next month, to how can I try and take advantage of the situation as much as I can, and what are other successful businesses doing? I see that they also have shifted from the money they're going to lose to basically taking care of their customers, taking care of their guests. If you look at, Disney World, they shut down. If you look even at Airbnb and what they're doing, and a lot of people I know are upset with the cancellation policy, extenuating circumstances, and giving all of our guests full refunds and all this stuff, but at the same time, they're trying not to burn their bridges. They're trying to keep their customer. And, one thing that I've just been thinking about over and over is, do I want to be a part of the reason why millions of Americans and millions of people decide never to do Airbnb ever again, or decide never to do a vacation rental again? Or do I want to be a part of the reason why people say, Airbnb is really good, or this Airbnb, this vacation rental, this is an awesome thing. And I think there are going to be a lot of people that have bad experiences and that decide, I'm never going to do a vacation rental again. I'm just going to stay in a hotel, because they're not going to take care of me in this situation. So that's kind of where I'm at. And so Airbnb has changed their cancellation policy almost every single day. And so they're giving the full refunds over our head, and VRBO. And it could come to a point where if they close down things so much, if they stop travel, airports and interstate travel, we don't know what's going to happen. It could be something where the government, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just saying getting full refunds is something that might happen beyond your control. So I don't want to be someone that says, I'm not going to give you a full refund, burn a bridge, burn a potential raving fan, burn a potential future guest that comes back again and again and tells friends and family how awesome we were and how we took care of them. And then for them to get a full refund anyways, you know what I mean? So I think that's just kind of helped me have less of like a crisis mindset and like a doomsday mindset, and more of like, let's look at the long term and believe my business is going to be one that rises to the top and all this. So practically, I'm talking a lot. Is that okay, Jasper?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I appreciate your strong mindset, and I agree with you. Like, there's, they say if it doesn't kill you, makes you stronger, and I do think that going through crisis will force us to be creative. It forces us to really ask ourselves, like, what are we doing with our business? It forces us to think about the higher level strategy as well. Like, do we want to keep doing short-term rentals? Is this really our passion? Or maybe we want to switch to, a longer or medium-term model. The world will survive. We're going to go through some difficult times, but we're going to survive. And I agree with you. We have to learn something from it, right? We have to grow as a person through this crisis.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing we can do to change what's happening. So, what can we do today to, take advantage of a potential opportunity that we have right in front of us? And for me, I think, that looks like trying to really, keep guests that have trusted me with their vacation, and not just keep them, but make them feel so cared for that they want to continue to come back to me and continue to come and tell their friends and family. So, one of the things that I'm doing, so that doesn't mean that, you just give full refunds without being somewhat creative in the way that you're trying to still encourage guests to stay and to keep their reservations. So I think there's a lot there. And one thing that I've done that's really worked, so this is like a practical suggestion that has really helped me keep some reservations that is really, really going to help me this month. Basically, one of my vacation rentals was down in Disney World. So, we're getting hit really hard there because Disney closed. So a lot of people are canceling their stays. And a lot of people fly, and some people don't want to fly right now. So one thing I've done is I offer my guests a choice. So instead of saying, like, even if, say, they do have, right now, because the extenuating circumstances, a lot of people have the ability to get a full refund without even asking you. But a lot of my guests are still coming to me and saying, hey, what's your policy? We're thinking about canceling. And so when they say that, and even if a guest does automatically cancel, and I send them a message and I say, I just want you to know that I really want to take care of my guests in this situation. This is a really difficult and challenging time. However, it's also a really awesome opportunity because we want to give you the option to keep your reservation, but we'll give you a 50% refund to stay with us and to keep your reservation. So you're going to get a really discounted time, stay with us. And then I go through and I kind of list all the things, all the reasons why they might want to do it. You already have made your arrangements with work and with, school. And even right now, if they're not, like, a lot of people can telecommute. A lot of people are off of school and work right now anyway, so they're not even taking vacation time. Why not come? Why, don't stay in your house and have cabin fever and there's nothing to do. And why don't you come and keep your reservation, have fun, make the best of the situation? I list all the things we have. We have a heated pool. We have a spa. We have a tiki bar area in our community, in our resort community, or we have parks. Or in Ocean City, you're walking distance from the beach, you're walking distance from the park. We're right on the bay. They're not going to close the bay. They're not going to close the parks. They're not going to close the beach. So why be stuck in your house? Like, keep your reservation. You get a really good discount. It's going to make this whole thing so much more it's going to make it a lot easier because a lot of us are not leaving the house as much and stuff and not going out so much. Why not come and have a little fun? And, and I go through what we have to offer and that they're going to get that discount. So with that said, I've actually had a number of my guests keep their reservations when they were going to cancel. So that has really saved me, even though I'm, losing 50%, at least it's something, so that's something I've done. And then for those that decide they need to cancel, I was able to talk to one of my guests about rescheduling till May. So rescheduling is also the thing that, obviously you want to try to do with every guest that tries to cancel, if they really are stuck on canceling. But I would offer that discount to them. That's definitely one practical thing that I've done that's really helped me so far. And the other thing is I went in right away and I lowered all my prices in March, and for the remaining of May and April. So I went in and I lowered my prices 50 to 70%, because even though I'm not with those prices, I really can't pay all my bills. At least I can pay most of my bills. And I'm not going to be like completely down and out, because if I keep my prices, I just have, the number of people that are looking right now is just so few and far between. So I just think, you got to do that right now. And then 2 months out, because we don't know how long this thing is going to last. If it's going to be just a month or two, or if it's going to be 3 or 4 months, just to kind of play it safe, I went in and lowered my prices in April and May. In May, I lowered them about 10 to 20% just to try to keep myself competitive. The other thing that I did is, Airbnb has, if you go onto your hosting site or whatever, you'll see that they'll have an area where you can click on what they're talking about, the coronavirus and the extenuating circumstances. In there, they have a place that says answer your hosting questions about the coronavirus. So I clicked on that. And one of the things I mentioned in that little paragraph article that they have there is that they're encouraging all of the hosts to change their cancellation policy to flexible. And they say in there too, I don't know if you caught this, Jasper, but they said that they would highlight and spotlight the listings that are flexible. Have you seen that? Did you see that, Jasper?
Yeah. They had an update. It's called More Flexible Reservations.
Yeah. And so they're trying, so I guess they're trying to encourage us all to do that, because the truth is, Airbnb knows what's up. They know that, not many people are going to make reservations if you don't have a really flexible cancellation policy right now. It's just what's going on in the world. So when I read that and I saw that they're going to highlight and spotlight the listings that are flexible, I went right in and changed my policy to being flexible, because being able to rise up in those rankings is what it's all about in Airbnb. You want to be on that first page. That's like the most important thing. That's why you want to get all the 5-star reviews. If that's going to help you get some bookings, then I think that's very well worth it. And the more you get clicks, the more you get reservations, it's going to help your rankings as well. So I went and I changed all of mine to flexible. And that's not something I plan to do in the long term, but just for right now, I think it's really wise for people to do that. What do you think, Jasper?
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you know, if you go on Airbnb now, if from the perspective of the guest, if you search for a place to stay, so they've added the cancellation policy as one of the filters. So right, in the top where it says dates, number of guests, type of place, price, etc., you can now click on cancellation policy and you can turn it on. And so if you then search, then Airbnb is only going to show you the listings that have a flexible cancellation policy. Now, they're also saying that they're going to bump the listings a little bit in the search results. Plus, I think they mentioned that they're going to highlight the listings or something. I looked at listing pages. I don't see any special button or symbol or whatever. Or in the search results, but definitely they added the filter. That's on Airbnb. It's live right now. I'm looking at it. So I agree with you. I think in general, if demand is low, and I was just on this webinar with SmartBnB, like I mentioned, then we're seeing cancellations of up to 80% in certain markets. We're seeing bookings being down by about 50%. So in a low demand, high supply market, we have to be competitive, and if we want to keep people in our homes, and I'd rather keep my occupancy up, because the worst thing that can happen is if you lose momentum, right? If you don't get any bookings for a couple months, because now even when things start to pick up, the listings that Airbnb is going to show when things pick up is the listings that have been getting bookings, right? I just don't want to lose any momentum with my places unless I can find somebody, and that's a different strategy. But if I can find somebody who wants to rent my place for like 2 or 3 months, or maybe even like 4 or 5 months, then that's an alternative. But if I'm going to stay in the short-term rental model, I'm going to have to adjust. I'm going to have to make it very, very attractive for people to book my place. So any objections to book, like making sure that your place is on instant book, making sure that you have a self check-in option if people are concerned about exposure to the virus. I mean, that's what's top of mind right now for people, right? It's the fear of contracting this thing, and then also highlighting the cleanliness, right? And we could talk a little bit about marketing as well, because I think we want to change our marketing strategy a little bit. We want to highlight that we have a very clean place. We want to highlight what we're doing to keep our place clean and safe, and also if what we're providing in terms of supplies. And one of our students in the Short-Term Rental Profit Academy actually created a really, really nice image of all the things that she's doing to keep her listing as clean as possible, and she put that as her second picture, so that people can see that immediately when they scroll through the first couple pictures in the search results. They immediately see like, oh, this host has extra measures in place to keep her place clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so smart.
Yeah, so that's there are certain things that you can do with the marketing. I mean, we've a lot of people probably seen the some of the things that people are doing is like coronavirus discount in their title. People that are in markets where the virus hasn't shown up yet, they advertise it as corona free getaways. You have to be careful, because that has to be actually true if you're going to advertise it that way. But also, I think on the positive side, just to give a little bit of hope for people out there, we do have a lot of people in our communities that are seeing new bookings coming in from local travelers, right? So, because people don't want to jump on planes right now, but there are a lot of people that are going to have time off, right? Whether they're not going to work, they're working from home, or the kids are off school, and those people are going to jump in a car and say, hey, instead of being in a crowded city, why don't we go out to the beach and rent a little place on the beach for a couple of weeks, and we'll just sit out the storm there. So we have seen here in San Diego, we have seen one of our students got a lot of new bookings from people that are driving, right? So how do you market to those people? Instead of marketing to international people, you want to market to people that are nearby. So you want to highlight if you have free parking, or where people can park. If you don't have free parking, that's something that you want to really advertise clearly. I think people might want to work at your place, so advertising fast internet, a good having a workspace, or maybe go out and buy some stuff that people need when they're working, right? Changing your marketing and changing your targeting a little bit can really help, I think.
Hi, my name is Margot, and I'm the CEO of Hostfully. We are on a mission to make local travel a lot better, and we're starting with digital guidebooks to make that happen. Using Hostfully digital guidebooks, which work great on any mobile device, on desktop and in print, you can share important property information and local recommendations with your guests. You can also save time and create a great guest experience that each traveler will appreciate. Hostfully guidebooks are very fast to make, and we've included some advanced features where you can feature your custom logo, your colors, custom categories, and essentially your brand. Please take a chance to check us out at hostfully.com.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. You on the last podcast, it was super helpful that you did on the coronavirus. If you haven't read it, even though it might be a little outdated at this point, there's so much good, helpful information on that one. So I encourage everyone to go back and listen to that one. But I took advice from that podcast to do my own coronavirus-free vacation video for my social media followers. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I also have a YouTube channel. I'm not on YouTube as much, but and that's Mad Men Vacation Rentals, and I'd love it if you guys wanted to follow me there. Basically, I did a video because where one of our vacation rentals is in Ocean City, which is, it's a beach resort town. It's far from all the big cities and all that stuff. So there's been no episodes of coronavirus out there. So I mean, I made sure the morning of, I checked to make sure that there still was no coronavirus out there. And I wrote in my video, I said, like, as of March, 12th, there's been no episodes of coronavirus. And I just said, does everyone that's coming from Ocean City, it's coming from Washington, D.C., they're coming from Baltimore, they're coming from Philly, they're coming from like Alexandria, Virginia, and these kind of big cities, even New York City. And so, I basically, did a video just saying, like, get out of the city, get out of these congested areas. All the suburbs are still congested out there. Come out to the ocean. There's not been any episodes of coronavirus as of yet. I was like, you can, go to the beach. We have kayaks. You can go on the bay. We have a park walking distance. Ride this out somewhere fun, somewhere you can enjoy. We have Disney Plus. We have Amazon Prime. We have Netflix. We have a smart TV. You can binge if you want. So I've been trying to market, that. And honestly, I mean, I haven't had any issues. I had one person that canceled one night there. I've had bookings. I've been getting bookings there because there's people that, because they closed down the schools in Maryland, and a lot of people are telecommuting, and that's exactly what they're saying. My guests have said, like, do you have good internet? We're going to be doing schoolwork, and we're going to be working there, but we just want to go somewhere that's, nice and that's a little bit more fun. That's something that I think is definitely a good idea to, if you have social media, if you're not on social media, now might be a good time to get on. And because you really got to do everything you can right now to market your place, because that's what I'm going to be doing with both Disney now and Ocean City, is really trying to market the local areas to bring in. And so even like you can do Facebook ads and Instagram ads. So that's something I don't do that much. I plan to do one, probably today. But basically, you can say where you want your ad to be directed to. Like you do your little ad, whatever it may be, pictures of your place. You could show, I think having a picture of like what measures you're taking right now for coronavirus is an awesome idea. Having a picture that kind of explains that, having something like that as an ad, and then you can tell, Facebook where you want the ad to go. So you could say, I only want it to go to people that live in Maryland, people that live in New Jersey, people that live in Virginia, because those are the people that, are going to. And for my Florida place, I used to try to market all up and down the East Coast, but right now I'm going to do a Facebook ad that just markets Florida people, and that's what I've found for me so far too, is I did have a few cancellations at the end of March, but I was able to rebook. In March, I was like, I couldn't believe I rebooked, but I did. And it was some locals that are coming to, just to have some fun and get away and stuff. So marketing those local people, but I think the Facebook ads and the Instagram ads are a good way to do that. Just practically, like you can kind of mention what people what interests they have. So for me, because my properties are dog friendly, I'll put a bunch of like interests being like dog parks and boxer dogs, and I'll say a bunch of stuff about dogs as the interest, and then of course whatever your beaches or Disney or whatever, to try and attract people that really would be more drawn to your place based on what you have to offer. I think one thing to do to try to prevent people from leaving and canceling is to preemptively contact them and let them know what you're doing. Because every single guest that I've had that is staying, like they still have asked me, like, are you washing your all the comforters between each guest? Are you wiping and sanitizing the remotes? And they're asking me specific questions, and having talking to them and reassuring the guests that you already have that are going to be, potentially, that still have the potential to cancel, I think is a good thing. And, I've also, once the guests are in the house too, I mean, I printed out a few like hand washing techniques and like coronavirus, like how to avoid coronavirus, like printouts that I'm putting by all the sinks in our properties, just to kind of like, first of all, help them prevent, like keeping them safe, but also just letting them know, like, I'm aware, I'm doing what I can. I'm trying to make sure that we keep a healthy and clean environment, and I'm aware of what's going on, and I'm like, I'm not just sitting back and writing it out. I'm actually doing things to try to prevent this from spreading and to take care of our guests and all that stuff. I'm really trying to find some hand sanitizer dispensers to like put at the front of my house. Even like I almost want to put it on the front of my house next to the door and say, please, we encourage you to sanitize your hands before you enter or something like that. But I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about that one. What do you think about that, Jasper? Is that taking it too far?
If you can get a hold of some.
Yeah, I think I see one on eBay that but I guess that's one thing that I've seen is that they've been hiking the prices up on Amazon and all these places. People buy it out and then they try and resell it for a crazy price. So,
I actually heard on the news today that somebody bought crazy amount of hand sanitizer and just trying to resell it, but then the police actually contacted that person and they wanted to arrest him, and so he ended up donating all the hand sanitizers that he bought to a church.
Oh wow, that's nice.
And then he apologized for trying to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, there was one more thing I wanted to say. We might not make a whole lot of money the next few months, but we can increase our rankings and we can try to increase our visibility, which I think is, can really help us in the long run. And also, like I said, keep those guests coming back to us. So one thing I'm thinking about doing, I haven't gotten to that place yet, but one thing I've done in the past, and especially in this situation, I'll do is to my followers to social media is because I'm not just going to drop my prices down to $5 a night to anyone on Airbnb. Because, I don't you never know really what kind of person would that's going to book your place for $5 a night. But if it's someone that follows me on social media or Facebook and Instagram, and I kind of at least have have an idea of who they are, and I can I don't know, personally, I feel comfortable doing that with my followers. But if it gets down to I have all this vacancy and no one's booking, one thing I have and probably will do at different points during this thing is I'll lower my prices down to $25 a night, $5 a night as a special for my guests, just so because at least I'm getting bookings, I'm increasing my rankings, and I'm getting 5-star reviews. And the more you have of those, and then you can market that, oh, I got another booking. Oh, I have another 5-star review. I mean, I don't post every 5-star review on my social media pages, but I do it once in a while. And so, but just to show people, look, I'm getting 5-star reviews, I'm getting bookings, you should book too. And kind of decrease that fear in people when they see there's people booking and staying and having a great time. So, and something I will also do is maybe instead of offering it first to all my social media followers, I might offer it first to friends and family. Hey, I don't think you can lower your price down below $5 a night, but you can lower it down to $5 because I've done it before. And so, again, it's kind of seeing the long-term gain. And for me, a 5-star review, every 5-star review is worth a lot of money, So even though I'm losing actual money in my pocket, if I can get 5-star reviews, I'm getting something valuable, very valuable still. So the other thing that I plan to do, just if it gets to that point as well, is I'm going to go to the properties myself. I mean, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to take a trip down to Florida now and, get some work done down there so I don't have to pay a handyman to do some things that I want to get done, improve the property, take videos of those things, and also just show people that you're having a great time and they should come and join the party, join the fun where you are, and market in that way. So that's another, I have a few kind of plans in case I have a lot of vacancy that I don't want. And those are two of my plans is to offer those really, really low prices. to friends, family, followers, as well as go to the properties myself and just market the hell out of my house and my area and what it has to offer in the midst of this crisis.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and that's something that I suggest people do as well. Is reach out to your friends and family, reach out to your personal network, post on Facebook. I've seen some hosts do that where they post on Facebook and they say, "Hey, as you all know, it's a bit tough right now. So I've got really good deals for you guys if you want to come out and spend some days here. Reach out to friends and family, and like you said, let them stay for a very low price. That's better than it being empty, like you said. And also something that people can think about start doing as well is like, for people that have a decent social media following, like I'm happy to host somebody now for free in my apartment. If that person is going to take some pictures and share that on their social media.
The what do they call them?
Influencers.
Influencers, yeah, yeah. I know. I have like a few like old friends from high school that, like I actually know them personally. I haven't seen them in like 10, 15 years, but still like, we follow each other. But they're real deal influencers. They have like a lot, So I've actually reached out to them in the past and I've said, "Hey, would you be interested in coming and staying on my property and then like doing, I'll let you stay for free, but if you could do some videos, some posts, and just tell, share it with on your Instagram and Facebook pages or whatever, share how great it is." And both, the people I've reached out to have said that they would be interested in doing it. And I just haven't, had really a chance. I haven't really had a chance to actually offer to them because I have been so well booked. Like I'm almost always fully booked. So it's like, I haven't really had the need, but this is kind of a time, definitely a time to do that. That's a brilliant idea. Reaching out. I think it's important to, one thing I actually listened to a podcast on asking influencers to stay at your properties to help market. And one thing that I would say is, it might be a good idea to kind of really write out what your expectations are and have them kind of, whether it's like signing it or whatever, just so that to make sure you guys are both really on the same page so that you're getting out of it what you believe you should get out of it and what you want to get out of it, and they're getting out of it what they want to get out of it, so that you're both on the same page. Because there have been instances where people that have like vacation homes or Airbnbs will ask these influencers to stay with them, and then they end up, getting like 2 little blips in their stories, and like, it's just, for you, it wasn't, it's not what you had in mind. So if it is something you do, you might want to just look into what you should actually, how to go about doing that in a way for you to, get what you want out of it and not be kind of, not ripped off, but, if someone's staying for free, you're still, especially like, you have to pay for the cleaning fee even, and all that stuff. So just something to think about when you do that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. You want to set clear expectations. So just write out exactly what you're looking for. And also, if these influencers typically are really good photographers, because that's what they, especially the Instagram ones.
Yeah.
So if you need some extra photos, like that could be, a win-win as well, where you say like, "Hey, take 20 photos of these, of these spaces, or even with the people in there." I know some hosts who are doing that as well. They'll actually take pictures of the people, of the influencers using their space. So the influencer will be in the photo, and then they put that one on Airbnb. I want like free Instagram posts, or want to be in 10 stories, or whatever the platform is where they're on. I think that's great advice. I'm sure we can talk for a long time, but let's wrap this up. But before I wrap this up, I wanted to mention that there's been some controversy over Airbnb allowing guests to cancel, but then only refunding them a percentage of their reservation, and giving them the rest in travel credits. Right, so they would give the travel credit for the fees and the taxes, and they would only refund like 75, 80, 85% of the booking. So a lot of hosts have been reacting to that. Obviously, hosts don't agree with this policy. It's kind of messed up. But it's my understanding that Airbnb has actually changed that. I've seen several screenshots of people canceling Airbnb bookings and showing that they're actually getting 100% of the refund now. So just want to put it out there. Fortunately, Airbnb has made that pivot. I think they realized that that was kind of outrageous what they were doing. So wanted to put that out there. Is there anything else you want to mention?
Well, I just want you all to know that we're all in this together, and I think you're doing the right thing by listening to this podcast. You know, I just want to wish you all the best of luck. You know, I have so much heart and compassion, and I'm so passionate about this business. And it's just like, you know, who could have ever imagined something like this? You know, I mean, we just bought this house down in Disney. Like literally we went live like pretty much like 1 year ago, like in a week. I mean, and so it's like, you know, who could have imagined that this could happen? But we are all in this together, and I think we'll get through it. And, you know, I just wish you all the best of luck, and that's it.
Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. And I guess my last message before I wrap this up is just want to encourage people as well to, to think about the elderly and people that have health issues, because those are the most vulnerable people right now. And so, you know, please don't go to the supermarket and buy all the stuff that people need, because, you know, I think it's really sad if the most vulnerable people then don't have a chance to get the hand sanitizer or the toilet paper or whatever it may be, the mouth pieces, what they call them. Apparently those ran out as well. I heard reports of people in hospitals even having trouble of getting hold of these things. So let's leave those supplies to the people who need it most. That will be my last message.
I like that. Yeah, that's yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for coming on. I think it was very useful, the advice that you've given, and I loved your positive attitude and mindset. I think that's what we need right now. We need there's always light at the end of the tunnel, although sometimes it's kind of hard to see it. But we're gonna get through this. I'm gonna do this podcast every Monday. So maybe we'll have you back on in another episode. But yeah, thanks for contributing. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much, Jasper. It's been a pleasure. It's definitely like helped boost my week for sure, knowing that I was going to be on this again, and be able to hopefully maybe give some hope and inspiration, maybe give some people some ideas of things, help someone in some small way in this business. It really keeps me going to be able to do that. So I appreciate it. Absolutely.
I'm sure you've inspired some people. So awesome. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And thanks for the listeners. Sorry if the audio quality might be not as good as you're used to, because I'm basically going to, edit and upload this thing right after recording. So, but I'll do my best to make it as good as possible. And then on Thursday, there's going to be a regular episode. So I'm going to keep doing, at least for the time being, going to do a Monday coronavirus episode, if you will. And then on Thursday, there'll be the regular episodes where we talk about all sorts of other topics. So hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay safe. Also, I'm gonna produce some more content, some more stuff for you guys on my blog as well, getpaidforyourpad.com. There's going to be an article about the coronavirus with lots of tips, advice, and everything I've seen in the last couple of weeks that hosts do to weather the storm. So make sure you check it out, getpaidforyourpad.com. I'm sending out a lot of emails as well with advice. So if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, go to getpaidforyourpad.com, the front page. You can put your email in there, and you'll be receiving updates and whatever I think is helpful. Go ahead and check it out, getpaidforyourpad.com, and hope you're going to listen next time. So stay safe, stay strong. Until next time.
paid for your pet. Get 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 paid for your pet.